"Get out of the light, your ruins the shot and quite frankly you're cluttering my terrace." The command was cold, but the movement that followed was violent. Sterling Drax, the media mogul known for his volatile temper, didn't wait for a response. He lunged forward, his face twisted with the arrogance of a man who viewed people as props. He planted his palms firmly against the shoulders of Elena Sterling, shoving her with a sudden, unprovoked force. Elena, elegant in a shimmering gold silk gown, gasped as her heels skidded on the wet marble of the classic estate. With a heavy, echoing splash, she disappeared into the deep end of the infinity pool. Who even let the help onto the VIP tier? Drax sneered, looking down at the rippling water as if he'd just cleared away a piece of trash. He adjusted the sleeves of his velvet blazer, glancing around at the crowd for a laugh. Cassian Sterling, standing only a few feet away in a razor-sharp charcoal cashmere suit, didn't shout. He didn't rush the edge with a panic-stricken cry. Instead, he moved with a slow, terrifyingly deliberate pace toward the pool. He reached down, his hands steady, and pulled his wife from the water. Elena stood on the marble, drenched but standing tall, her eyes fixed on Drax with a look of icy, silent judgment. "Drax," Cassian said, his voice a low, vibrating hum that seemed to kill the music on the terrace. "That was the most expensive 5 seconds of your life. Thanks for the support, we couldn't do this without you. Subscribe for free to help us keep bringing you more stories. Where are you watching from? Drop your city and country in the comments. Now back to the story." Drax let out a jagged, mocking bark of a laugh that echoed under the massive crystal chandeliers hanging from the outdoor pavilion. Around them, the witnesses, guests in vibrant sapphire dresses, mustard yellow linen suits, and deep burgundy tuxedos, froze mid-sip. Some chuckled nervously to stay in Drax's good graces. Others looked at the floor in a silence that felt like lead. "Expensive?" Drax mocked, stepping into Cassian's personal space. He reached out and flicked a droplet of water off Cassian's charcoal suit lapel with a sneer. "I own the networks that make men like you look important, Sterling. You're a guest here because I needed a diversity hire for the photos. Now, take your wet wife and find the service exit before I have my security actually get rough." Cassian didn't blink. He pulled a slim black device from his pocket. "I didn't come here to be your guest, Drax. I came here to finalize the acquisition. And since you've provided the physical evidence I needed," he tapped a single command on the screen, "I'm triggering the Hostile Environment Clause. Execute Clause 8.3. Total asset freeze and immediate liquidation of all Drax Media holdings." Drax's smirk faltered for a fraction of a second. "You're bluffing. You don't have the leverage to freeze a lemonade stand." "Check your watch, Drax," Cassian whispered. "Your empire just hit its expiration date." The atmosphere on the terrace shifted from a celebration of wealth to a clinical observation of a collapse at exactly 3:17 p.m. It began with a single sharp chime from Drax's pocket, then a synchronized chorus of alerts from every executive on the deck. Drax's CFO, a man in a vibrant mustard yellow linen suit, dropped his champagne flute. The crystal shattered against the marble, but no one looked down. His face had turned a sickly, translucent gray as he stared at his screen. "Drax," he stammered, his voice cracking. "The primary credit facility, it's gone. Sterling Global just bought the underlying debt from our lenders. They're calling the notes. All 4.2 billion. Effective immediately." Drax snatched the phone, his hands finally beginning to shake. The screen was a wall of red account frozen notifications. "This is impossible. There's a 30-day cure period for any default." "Not under Clause 8.3, Cassian said, stepping forward. The light from the crystal chandeliers caught the sharp lines of his charcoal suit. "The morality and conduct provision. Any physical battery or public assault committed by the principal officer against a member of the lending board triggers a 0-hour acceleration. You just assaulted the chair of the Sterling Fund on a live security feed, Drax. You didn't just push a woman into a pool, you pushed your entire empire into bankruptcy." The realization hit Drax like a physical blow. Around the pool, the witnesses in their vibrant sapphire and burgundy finery began to physically back away from him, as if his failure were contagious. The woman in the sapphire dress, who had been laughing just moments before, now looked at Drax with a look of pure, unadulterated disgust. "Cassian, wait!" Drax shouted, his voice desperate and shrill. "It was a joke. The party was getting dull. We can renegotiate the terms." "The terms were respect, Drax," Elena said, stepping forward. Her gold silk gown was drenched, but her posture was like steel. "You thought you were the owner of the world. You thought you could move people like chess pieces. But you forgot one thing, the board can move back. At that moment, the estate's lights flickered and died, leaving only the dim emergency glow. The music stopped. A fleet of black vehicles pulled into the driveway, not for the guests but for the seizure of the assets. The Drax Media ticker on the giant outdoor screen hit 0 and was replaced by a cold, white acquired notification. Cashin didn't stay to watch the chaos. He guided Elena toward their car, pausing one last time to look at Drax, who was now standing alone by the water he no longer owned. "Respect is the only currency that doesn't devalue," Cashin said. "I suggest you learn how to spend it." As they drove away, the handshake collapse of Drax Media was already trending globally. By midnight, every title, every asset, and every job associated with Drax's name had been erased. Because power doesn't need to shout. It just needs to walk away. If you believe that arrogance always comes with a price tag, like this video and share it. Tell us in the comments, what would you have done to Drax? Subscribe now and turn on notifications so you never miss stories that celebrate unstoppable dignity.